the big corporations. They would have to pay a lot of money to get rid of this toxic waste, or they can sell it to us for a lot of money and have us drink it. That's what they're doing. We also have some reactions from Giuliani and from Rand Paul, but I want to get your reactions right now. We've got some callers that are on the line. Let's go to Kyle in Utah. Kyle? Hello, Kyle.
Hello, Dave. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I'll get right to the point. I am actually calling about a different article I think was linked on Drudge about the Utah Transfer of Public Land Act.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rep. Ivory said that the deadline, I guess the deadline's coming up, is December 31st, and that they're going to move forward and use all the resources at our disposal. Quote. What is your take on this? I think is this the first? I know that Arizona passed a similar act. Is this the first time this is going to be attempted? And what do you think these resources?
They're clearly moving the ball here on this, and of course, part of the problem out west, and this is an issue at the Bundy Ranch, we had people who were from local governments in Utah that had shown up to talk about this very issue. There were several issues going on at the Bundy Ranch. What got us involved was, again, the excessive use of force, the police brutality. But there was also an underlying issue that caused this conflict in the first place, and that was the fact that most of the land was is owned out west by the federal government. And what they were doing with the land, what Harry Reid and others do with the land, is they're now putting it to investment use, telling people that they have to protect the desert tortoise specifically in Nevada, and yet setting up a lot of projects, natural resource exploration in terms of mining, working with crony capitalism partners in terms of setting up large solar systems. So this is where it's happening. They're treating this public land, and they're going to treat it as their personal fiefdom. They will use it, and they will keep you off of it. That's what the people at the Bundy Ranch said. They said, we've been here, and our ancestors have been here since even before it was a state. We've always had access to this land, particularly that land. They had a lot of cattle there. There used to be over 50 ranchers in just that one area. Bundy was the last guy there. And they said, when they come in, they're going to do what they've done in every other park. And I saw this in September when I went to Yellowstone. They brag about the fact that they've only give you access to 1% of the park, that the 99% of the park is off access to you. And they said, this is what's going to happen to the public. It's not going to be public land. They are going to put a couple of trails in it, put some trails around the perimeter of it, and it will be off limit to the public. But they will use it for their own purposes. They will use it for their corrupt games that they play with crony capitalists that they can trade influence and trade projects with. It's a very serious thing, and we need to roll this back and look at how we got into that situation. Why wasn't that land turned over to the people as it should have been? Why was it kept by the federal government? Because places like Utah and other states that were out west, they were originally territories. As they became states, that land should have been turned over to the people. It wasn't turned over to the people. The federal government retained ownership, and now we see what they're doing. They're not good stewards. At the same time, in Nevada that they were talking about protecting the desert tortoise, of course, they had, I think it was 1,200 of them that they had euthanized at their center because they didn't have the funds to feed them or whatever their excuse was. But they're using these issues of endangered species to, in many cases, that's the basis on which they want to do this. But yeah, it's a very serious issue. It is a big grab of authority, just as we see the FCC trying to extend its authority and ushering in internet censorship. And of course, that's one of the articles we're going to talk to Paul Joseph Watson about in the next hour. We see Obama official is meeting with a Chinese internet censorship czar. There's a lot of ways that we see the federal government moving to take control of the internet, in the same way that the EPA or the Bureau of Land Management is trying to take control of the land out west and exercise a more rigid, exclusive control of that. And of course, it all plays into Agenda 21. That's the end game. If you want to know where all this is headed, it means that they're going to concentrate all of us into very small areas, high concentration areas. We will not be allowed into those areas whatsoever. Let's move on to, we got somebody with us, an ex-cop in Maryland. Let's talk to him. Ex-cop?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I am. Thank you for taking my call, and I'll try to keep it brief, but I really, really appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm an ex-cop from Maryland, and I just wanted to talk about this outrageous police conduct. It has gotten so bad that, I think it is getting a little worse now. I was an ex-cop in the 80s, in the late 80s, and the reason why I got out, I spent like 2 years in it. The reason why I got out is because I saw so much abuse of regular citizens not doing anything wrong. There is a culture among many police.
Hang on. We got I want you to hang on through the break. We'll be right back. We got to take a commercial break. We're going to be talking. This is an ex-cop in Maryland. I want to get your take on and reaction to some of these things. We'll be right back with your calls, and Paul Joseph Watson will be joining us in the next hour.
Yes, family and friends are gathering to give gifts and wish health and security. But why not enhance cell phone and wireless device security all year with Block-It Pocket? A family-owned American business, we now have 2 spectacular holiday specials. Find them now at our new website, blockitpocket.com, or call 888-315-9618. Hurry, holiday special ends Christmas Day. Give the gift of security from blockitpocket.com, wishing you health, freedom, and liberty.
Many superfoods boost immune function, but few do it like bee pollen does for mental, physical, and overall health. Bee pollen helps the body fight illnesses and allergies and is one of the top superfoods for mental clarity and concentration. Support American beekeepers. For high-quality bee pollen, black seed oil, camu camu, super greens, heirloom seeds, organic storable food, and more, go to PatriotSuperfoods.com. That's PatriotSuperfoods.com. Remember, PatriotSuperfoods.com.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with sex. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-852-1820. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-852-1820. That's 1-800-852-1820. Call 1-800-852-1820.
What looks good under your Christmas tree and tastes even better? Big Berkey water filters. Yes, the gift of clean water. A gift that provides a great foundation for achieving good health in the lives of your loved ones. A Big Berkey water filter gives them protection from bacteria, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, pesticides and herbicides, VOCs, and more. And best of all, a Big Berkey water filter is a gift that lasts for many years with no additional investment. And that saves time and money in filter replacements that other water filters require and are even powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. As always, all orders over $50 are shipped free, and GCN listeners get 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Order online at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com, spelled Big, B-E-R-K-E-Y, waterfilters.com, or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Gift well this Christmas. Give a Big Berkey water filter.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. I'm David Knight, your host today. We're going to be joined by Paul Joseph Watson in the next hour, also by talk show host Lionel. It'll be interesting to talk to him because he is a lawyer, a former prosecutor and defense attorney. I want to talk to him about some of the issues involved in these grand juries, as well as he's in New York. I want to see what he's seen the last day or so in terms of reactions, but he'll be with us as well as Paul Joseph Watson. Right now, we're getting your reactions. And, of course, we'll take some more calls after Lionel leaves us in the third hour when I'm here with Paul Joseph Watson. We'll take some more of your calls. But I was talking before the break to an ex-cop from Maryland who called in. I want to get back to his phone call, but just want to point out up on the Drudge Report right now, the top story, New Dawn. China is now the world's biggest economy. And they point out this is the first time this has happened since U.S. Grant was president. That disparity is going to continue to grow. Just recently, Obama went to China, and what did he agree to? Well, he agreed to decline energy output in the United States by 26% over the next 11 years. China, meanwhile, will not decline, but will cap their energy output in 16 years. They will be allowed to continue to grow. There's no restraints. Nobody is worried about global warming, it seems, if the global warming, if the global pollution is coming from China. They're not concerned about that. It's only American factories, American power plants, American automobiles that can contribute to global pollution. You understand how this is being used? The same way they're using racism. Of course, we're going to talk to Paul Joseph Watson about how they're manufacturing racism. I guess that's about the only thing we're manufacturing anymore in this country is government regulations and racism. But let's go back to ex-cop in Maryland. We had to go to a break. Ex-cop, you said you were there for 2 years, and you left because you were concerned about the excessive use of force that you saw?
Yes, Mr. Knight. I saw a lot of abuse, and by the way, I like the way you said manufactured racism. That is so true. I happen to be African American, and I tell you, man, from a perspective of African American, ex-police, more conservative. On the conservative side, I get flack from, believe me, a lot of African Americans, more African Americans than per se like white people. But let me go back to the
and let me ask you a question about that, because Giuliani, when he was on making his remarks, one of the things that he pointed out, he says, if I recall, there was an African American sergeant on the scene when Eric Garner was killed, in charge of the entire situation, and never did anything to stop. You know, that's what I've been saying when I look at Obama saying we're going to get racial quotas here, we're going to stop racial profiling, but we're going to get more black police. Do you think that's going to solve the problem? Are they going to see themselves, are they going to identify with the black community, or are they going to identify as being part of the blue community, in your opinion?
No. Okay. In my opinion, I've seen a lot of black police officers do a lot of heinous things against black people too. So I don't think that's going to do a lot of things. I think it's a systemic problem in that when police are allowed to, and I'm an ex-cop. When police are
hang on, stay with me right after the break. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back. I want to get a little bit more from you, but I do want to get to some other callers that we got on the line. We're also going to have Paul Joseph Watson joining us and Lionel. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
The government's Department of Homeland Security is buying up loads of ammo. At the same time, they're restricting civilians' rights to own and purchase firearms. Can you put two and two together? Infidel Body Armor can stop every round, including hollow points and .308 sniper rounds, is reasonably priced and fully legal. But for how long? Go to InfidelBodyArmor.com, spelled INFIDEL bodyarmor.com. Infidel Body Armor. Just won't quit.
The average person's life is filled with unexpected challenges. Unlock the energy it takes to defeat these daily beasts with Super Male or Super Female Vitality, specifically designed to assist the body in regulating proper hormone balance to create superior vitality in males and females. Supercharge and conquer your world at InfoWarsLife.com or call 188-253-3139.